There's a child in a room full of people. They tug a parent's sleeve once, twice. Nobody looks down. Nobody responds. And eventually, something changes inside that child. They stop trying, not because they stopped needing attention, but because they learned a brutal lesson. I don't matter enough to be seen. Most people think moments like this fade. They don't. They become a blueprint, a template your brain keeps using for years. So if you shrink yourself, apologize too much, or struggle to believe you deserve attention, this may be the reason. Before we go further, this isn't about blaming parents. Most parents who ignore their children aren't cruel. They're exhausted, distracted, overwhelmed, sometimes stuck in their own stress, trauma, or survival mode. The why doesn't erase the impact, but understanding it keeps this from turning into hate, because what we're talking about isn't a single bad day. It's a pattern of being unanswered. Picture a 6-year-old running up with a drawing. Proud, excited, eyes bright. But the parent is on the phone. Later at dinner, the child tries again. Talked over. Before bed, that's nice. No eye contact. Here's what the child's brain is learning. Does reaching out work? Is it safe to have needs? Do I matter here? For a child, connection isn't a luxury, it's safety. So when bids for attention get ignored repeatedly, the nervous system treats it like threat. Not a physical threat, an existential one. And over time, the brain wires itself around one belief. If I reach out, nothing happens. Think about being left on red. That small sting, that tension in your chest. Now imagine you're 7, and it isn't a message, it's you. The survival adaptations that look like personality. Ignored children don't stay helpless. They adapt. And here's the problem. Their adaptations often get mistaken for personality. First, hyper-independence. They learn if I need something, I'll handle it alone. They become capable, reliable, self-sufficient. People call it strength. But underneath is the belief, needing people makes me a burden. Second, perfection and people-pleasing. They think, if I'm good enough, I'll finally be noticed. So they become the responsible one, the achiever, the easy one. But even when they succeed, it doesn't fill the gap, because what they needed wasn't praise for performance. They needed presence for simply existing. Third, emotional invisibility. They stop expressing needs. They read the room instead. They become low maintenance. And low maintenance often means easily forgotten. If you relate to any of these, don't rush to label yourself as just independent or just private. Sometimes it's not who you are, it's who you had to become. These patterns don't stay in childhood. They follow you into adulthood, especially relationships. Some people go silent during conflict, not to punish, but because their brain learned early, speaking up won't change anything. Others swing the opposite way. They panic when someone pulls away. A delayed reply feels like abandonment. Space feels like danger. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The ignored child often becomes attracted to people who keep ignoring them. Not consciously, but the brain is drawn to what's familiar. And if being unseen was your baseline, then chasing scraps of attention can feel like home. It's not love, it's repetition. Healing starts with one hard truth. Emotional neglect is often invisible, but it's still a wound. You can starve in a house full of food if nobody ever offers you a plate. Many people who grew up ignored say nothing bad happened. No screaming, no obvious abuse, just absence. But the absence of something necessary is its own kind of harm, and naming it quietly, honestly, changes everything. Because once you can see the pattern, you can stop living as if you're still invisible. Here are 3 tools that actually help. Tool 1. The pause. When someone asks, "How are you?" notice how fast you say, "I'm fine." That speed is a survival reflex. Pause for 3 seconds and ask yourself, am I actually fine, or am I being easy? Tool 2. Small asks. If asking feels dangerous, start tiny. Can you grab me water? Can we sit together for a minute? Can we talk later tonight? Small asks teach your nervous system, I can have needs and still be safe. Tool 3. Find your witnesses. You need at least one person who sees you, not your output, not your usefulness, you. A therapist, one real friend, a partner who can hold space. Healthy connection rewires the expectation of neglect. If you're a parent watching this thinking, did I do this to my kid? If you're asking that question, you're probably not the problem. Every parent misses moments. What creates the wound is the pattern. So here's the fix. Put the phone down sometimes. Make eye contact. When they show you something, actually look. When they speak, actually listen. Not perfectly, but consistently enough that your child learns, when I reach out, someone reaches back. If you grew up feeling ignored, you're not broken. Your brain adapted to survive an environment where connection wasn't reliable. But survival mode isn't the same as living. Visibility is a skill, and skills can be learned. It will feel uncomfortable at first, because taking up space feels risky when your nervous system expects silence. But on the other side of that fear is the feeling you've been searching for. Being seen. Not for what you do, but for simply existing. The ignored child in you is still there, still waiting. Today, let that someone be you. Look at that child, see them, and tell them the truth. You mattered. You matter. You always did. If this hit home, share it with someone, because a lot of people call it independence when it's actually an old wound. Subscribe to Elevate Psychology. I'll see you in the next one.